India Silver
Hi.
Conference.
Hi.
How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, I'm doing fine and very happy to be here at
Yes.
this second edition of India
Yes.
Silver Conference.
Yes, sir.
I
Good to
think,
see you again.
yeah, and I think it's a great event simply because it at least connects all the, people from different domains in this, anything to do with silver, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you were talking about different domains, sir. Research also is a very important domain in our silver industry. So can you just brief us about that, sir, a little bit?
Yeah, so at IIT Bombay, we've been doing work on silver in the different domains,
Yes.
mostly industrial
Yes,
applications, for maybe last about 8 years or so. We got started with the silver paste for solar PV, which is a large
yes,
market. And as of now, we have a lab developed paste which we are looking to take for a pilot,
Yes.
to take it to the industry and then possibly commercialization. So that is one thing. We've looked at antibacterial aspects of silver. We've looked at use of silver in membrane keypads, which is very important for all custom keyboards. And the latest thing which has happened is also we are looking at use of silver for educational applications. Like this, something unique. We have a silver ink based pen,
Yes.
and we recently started a company which is called NAD Materials. So I think, and there are more things. It doesn't stop there. The one of the most recent things that we are now attempting is world over, particularly for silver paste for solar PV. There is a interest in driving down the costs. And in that regard, we are looking at developing, silver-coated copper powders, which potentially can, lower costs of these pastes. So there's a big interest all around the world, and we are also looking at it.
So, sir, you were telling the silver is used in these silver industrial applications. So, can you
Yeah.
just tell us the different segments where silver is used and how much silver is used, and
Right.
like what are the where silver is very important and where silver
Right.
can be used for a long time?
Right. See, I mean, in terms of industrial applications, as I said just now, one of the big applications is in the solar cells,
Yes.
and it's going to continuously grow. We don't have a replacement for it. Then all electrical contact applications, for example, uses silver,
Yeah.
right? Because, I mean, the conductivity of silver, right? Then, because of its antimicrobial action, there are a lot of products on silver. Silver also goes into the pharmaceutical industry.
Yes.
And like I said some time back, many of these keyboards, for example, also have silver. And wherever, when you look at electrical and electronics industry, silver is there everywhere. So I would say silver is omnipresent.
Yeah. So, what do you think about the demand factors in these industrial applications, especially in the electrical and the solar PV panels?
Yeah. See, solar PV particularly, because that is something which we are working on now, is rapidly growing. I mean, if you can imagine, I think I'm guessing now, but I think India maybe somewhere the installed capacity of solar in India would be close to or slightly under 100 gigawatt.
Okay.
And India is looking at probably in the next 10 years going to 400 gigawatt. And when you look at silver consumption, it's per gigawatt, the consumption of silver paste is in the order of, 15 to 20 tons.
Yes.
So you can imagine, the demand is going to continuously rise. And then these solar panels which are installed have a certain life, right? So once they get to the end of the life, then you need to manufacture. So you have to continuously manufacture. And it's not just India. The entire world is looking at solar PV from the green, energy
Green
angle,
energy
right? And that's
initiative.
very important, right? From the energy and sustainability kind of angle. So it's going to grow continuously. Yeah.
So you told silver is also used in antimicrobial solutions, or
Yes,
so
yes,
can you
yes.
just tell a little more about that, sir?
Right. So see, the silver actually basically it enables destruction of, the microbial cell membranes, right? So it is added as a very fine, like nanoparticles of silver are incorporated, whether in bandages, for example, in kind of, lotions, for example, in things which are for sterilization,
Yes.
right? So all these things utilize silver. So and healthcare is like a never-ending kind of a
Yes.
thing. There are very specific use cases of silver. For example, burn applications. Patients who have
Yes.
undergone burn,
Okay.
and they are very prone to developing infections. There,
Yeah.
silver plays a critical role. These
Oh,
silver bandages.
So
right?
in these antimicrobial solutions, what is the form of silver which is used mostly?
Yeah, so mostly goes in a colloidal form.
Okay, colloidal
Right.
form.
So you will have, as I said, extremely fine nanoparticles of silver. One can incorporate, I mean, to begin with, it will be colloidal,
Yeah.
like in a dispersed
Yes.
state. and then you will build a product. The end product could be a dry, like a bandage, okay, or it could be in a colloidal suspension itself as a final product, right, with other ingredients.
Yes. So with the silver being a little volatile in the last few months and the price is going up and
Right,
down,
right.
so what do you think will be the solution for this? Will the silver quantity be reduced in these silver industrial applications, or will there be an alternative for silver in the times to come?
So as of now, at least in certain applications, we don't see alternative.
Okay.
But like I gave you an example, a possibility is that in case wherever you need basically a silver on the surface, let's
Yes.
say for example, from where it can be released, you can have maybe coatings of silver on something else, right? That is one possibility, and we are doing that. Silver coated copper powder is an example. But then there are numerous applications where you can't replace it.
Yeah.
Maybe in certain cases, it's possible that one can look at nanomaterials to enhance the surface area and try to achieve certain properties in kind of lesser quantity.
Correct.
Or in solar PV, and people are looking at, for example, designs. All these solar panels, if you see, they have these current collection fingers. So they are looking at all kinds of strategies by which they can reduce the amount of silver consumed per cell, for example.
Yes.
So that's an area of active research, and there is a possibility that we may be able to sort of bring down sort of demand not demand, rather consumption. The demand is anyway going to grow up, but the consumption per cell, right?
So sir, can you just tell me a little more about the longevity of these silver coatings? Because is there any tarnish possibility, or what is the longevity? Can it be used for a very long time, very short time? Should it be replaced frequently?
Right. So in most engineering applications, for example, again I keep coming back to silver for solar PV. These modules are all encapsulated, right? So they don't see, they are in the environment, right? But they don't really see the environment. So they are quite stable, right? In other engineering applications like electrical contact industry also, that is not something of an issue. But then I definitely see that, for example, silverware, where it gets tarnished, and then there are solutions, chemical solutions to that, right? To sort of improve the surface finish. But in most engineering applications that I see, I don't see much of a issue because of that.
How do you think your work can get fastly recognized by these industries, and what do you think should be done to integrate the industry and the research organizations together?
Yeah, so that's a very important point. See, while as academicians, as researchers, we can develop many things, right? But our interest, of course, is also to see that it gets commercialized, it gets taken up, or the country benefits from it, right? So in that respect, I would say 2-3 things. One, of course, like for example, your event does one of the things, bringing people together. That's extremely important. Maybe secondly, things like, some kind of updates on what is happening, maybe can be done over the year, right? Periodic updates. This is one event in a year, right? But maybe some kind of a regular update could happen from all the researchers, right? Which reaches the industry.
Maybe like a webinar would do, sir?
Webinar, as well as what I meant is something in print or over social media and all that also. But of course, webinar can also be done, because these kind of events cannot be organized so frequently, right? But lastly, one very important point I feel is anything that we develop in an academic institution, if it has to go out to the industry must also sort of remain open. And in a way, I feel, looking at maybe the developed world, if the industry gradually maybe, becomes open to the idea that while they are, doing the production, can they put aside some of their, revenues or percent of profits to put it into an R&D kind of setup gradually. What that can do is that it can help improve their own products over a period of time. And if they have people with R&D mindset, they can facilitate this technology transfer or absorption of what is developed in academic or research institutions. So I think that can greatly benefit our country in the long run, as well as the company, to add new products and businesses. So investing in R&D to some extent at the company side would also greatly help this process.
Yes.
Solar revolution is going on. So what is that wastage? Sometimes they will replace it and something. What that wastage will be? What will be the happen? And any hazardous to any contact.
So I can, in solar PV domain, I can say that it's a very important point that we should look at recycling.
Yeah, recycling now we have to think it.
Yeah.
जो भी
Yeah,
plastic
yeah,
से
yeah.
होना चाहिए, नहीं चाहिए.
Yeah. So already research is going on. What I wanted to say was already research has started. Yeah, how to recover silver from used or end of the life solar panels. Research has started, and relatively speaking, it's easier to recycle silver from the used solar panels as compared to all the other materials that are involved.
Metal also, not only
Ah,
silver.
yeah. But a lot of research is now going on all around the world, including in India. So maybe you will see in some time that we will have technology for recycling the solar panel.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for this opportunity.